Hi, my name is Stephanie Haywood, and I'm here with my friend and colleague, Lauren Dominik, and we're the Contracting Gals. And we work with Metatract, which is a division of Tract Manager Holdings. Metatract supports full contract life cycle, and we also work with our sister company, MD Byline, that provides strategic sourcing for hospitals. This is the fifth of our sessions. We've had 4 already. It's our last session.
I know, I'm sad.
I'm sad about it. We've talked about the importance of contract management. We've talked about the challenges, how to address those challenges, some solutions. And along the way, we've talked about some pretty interesting case studies and situations that we've been in.
All real occurrences.
Can't make it up.
Nope, you can't.
But this is our last session, and we're going to talk about oversight and transparency. And let's just start with, how, after you've put these processes in place, do you continue monitoring them and ensure that you have a good future state? You're securing a good future state.
It's a great question. And, one of the things that kind of slips through the auditing and monitoring processes for hospitals is contract auditing, making sure that what the processes you put in place and set up are being followed and carried out, and making sure that you have the right pieces in place in relation to contract expiration dates and notifications that are going to go out to your employees is key in making sure that your contracts are conforming to the standards set forth within them. So some of my clients that I've seen in the past, they actually did their auditing and their monitoring through their Outlook calendar and through Excel spreadsheets.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not joking. So they would set notifications on their Outlook calendar to remind them when contracts were expiring. I mean, can you imagine looking at your Outlook calendar and seeing 25 notifications?
On top of all your meetings all day?
Right.
Yeah. And trying to find them.
Yes.
Trying to find those contracts.
Yes. And how do you make sure that the correct actions have taken place? You have to have an automated solution in place. You have to have built-in monitoring tools and reports built out within the system so that that's one less task that you actually have to complete.
Yeah, it relieves a lot of burden off of an organization when you have those processes in place, you have that automated system. And something that is interesting in all the different case studies that we've talked about in our previous sessions, you can't do this without an automated system.
You can't.
And, hospitals all over the country turn to Metatract to help show that they've got these processes in place and mitigate that compliance risk. When you're thinking about organizations, so we talked about making sure you're bringing the right people to the table and bringing the right departments to the table. So you're not just looking at compliance and legal, but you also are looking at physician contracting and supply chain, research, finance, IT. But that's a lot of agreements, whether you're in a small organization or a national organization with facilities all over the country. It's a lot of contracts to manage. Where do you start?
That's a great question, and you start with physician arrangements, because if you can effectively audit a physician arrangement and make sure that you're reviewing that in a timely manner, making sure that you're doing your annual fair market value evaluations and your peer reviews, and any other reviews that need to take place in relation to a contract, if you can do that with those, you can accommodate any other kind of contract.
And it's important to track those dates, key terms, key contractual dates, making sure that the appropriate parties are being notified so they can take action, ensuring there's that automated process. There's so many things that you think about. You look at your different contract types, you look at the different terms and compliance components of those agreements, because all of them have some sort of compliance risk associated with them.
Well, and all of those components make up the reporting that needs to take place on each of those different contract types. And that produces the data points that you can actually, live and breathe and take to your leadership and really utilize to the fullest extent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's very important that you're obviously looking at all of those things. And you've talk about, I know that you have worked with an organization that was trying to track, key dates and so forth and so on, all those different types of within those agreements. Talk about a case study.
Well, so this particular client, and I know that we've mentioned this over and over again, not to beat a dead horse, but automation is going to be key here. This particular client they had the Metatract solution in place, but they didn't have a completely automated process. Mm-hmm. So what they were doing is they were actually validating their payments per each physician contract each, biweekly or weekly, whatever the payment period was. So they were having to read through each of those contracts on a regular basis. You know how lengthy those contracts are.
I mean, imagine taking that into a meeting and trying to share that information with leadership.
They did. It made those meetings very lengthy. It made them very inefficient. So what they did, they came to Meditract and they said, how can we take our completely manual process of searching through the Meditract system and automate it? Because this is what we're looking at. These are the data points. So we helped take all of those data points from the contracts and we built them into specialized fields within the system so that they could report on those fields. And not only could they report on it, they could actually automate the reporting so that that report was sent to them on a weekly basis, a biweekly basis. Whenever they needed that information, it came directly to them.
And it really allows them to take burden off of kind of those inefficient processes by putting things in place that allow them to focus on other areas, utilize resources. I mean, you're always trying to do more with less in every organization, but particularly hospitals and healthcare systems, you're pulled in a lot of different directions.
Absolutely.
So, Lauren, we've talked a lot about compliance and contract management, which we love to do, but I think that's the end of our session.
I think it is. I'm kind of sad. You know how much we love talking about contracts. So if you have questions or there are other topics that you would like us to cover, please feel free to let us know. Also, if you would like Stephanie and I to come speak with your organization or your health system, please feel free to reach out, as we'd be more than happy to come to any tropical locations.
And if you'd like to see another season of the Contracting Gals, preferably live from the tropics.
Live from the tropics, I like it.
Then please feel free to reach out to us. We would absolutely love to talk to you.
Thanks for joining us.